Like, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into an organization that's truly walking the talk on sustainability. That's the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, or HKUST.
Hmm.
They just picked up a huge honor, recognized at the 2025 Kvikoo, that's pronounced Kvikoo Impact Honors.
Right, the Kvikoo Awards.
Yeah, as a Circularity Champion in the Waste Reduction Matters category. So our goal for this deep dive, to figure out exactly how they earned that title, what circularity actually looks like in action, and maybe what surprising actionable insights we can grab from their super comprehensive approach to sustainability.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here, I think, is that the university's recognition isn't just about, making small improvements here and there.
Hmm.
It's really about embedding circularity right into the very heart of their campus culture. It's quite holistic.
Yeah.
It's a testament to this big vision, extending from their day-to-day operations all the way to really clever symbolic reuse projects, making sustainability not just some abstract idea, but something visible, tangible, and personal for everyone on campus.
Visible, tangible, personal. I like that.
Exactly. So today, we'll explore their bold waste reduction strategies, their broader net zero commitments, how they innovate with energy and water, and importantly, how they integrate sustainability into education and community well-being. And it's all supported by some pretty robust governance, too.
Okay, sounds like a lot to cover. So let's start with the numbers, the stuff that actually earned the University of Science and Technology this Circularity Champion title. And I think you might be genuinely surprised by the sheer scale of their commitment and, well, the results.
Mm.
We're talking about a remarkable 47% reduction in landfill waste compared to their 2014 baseline, 47%.
It's huge for an institution that size.
Right. And here's where it gets really interesting. They saw an astounding over 860% increase in recyclables collection. Also from that same 2014 baseline, I mean, an 860% increase isn't just about putting out more bins, is it? What's the key principle behind a jump like that?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, achieving reductions like that, it isn't just about adding more recycling bins. It's much more, it's got to be a multifaceted approach that makes circularity sort of the default option.
Right, the easy choice.
Yeah. That 860% surge suggests a strategic mix, probably accessible infrastructure like maybe widespread smart bins that simplify sorting, alongside, robust behavioral nudges. They've truly made recycling the easy, obvious thing to do.
Okay.
And then there's that incredible example you mentioned, turning felled acacia trees from their own campus into furniture and campus souvenirs.
That's the story that really grabbed me.
Me too. And the Kvikoo Impact Honors judges specifically highlighted this. They said, and I'm quoting here loosely, HKUST stands out not only for the scale of its waste reduction, but for embedding circularity into the heart of its campus culture. From operational improvements to symbolic reuse, like turning trees into tables, this is sustainability made visible, tangible, and personal.
Visible, tangible, personal. There it is again.
Exactly. And these efforts, they align perfectly with global frameworks like the UN Sustainable Development Goals, specifically SDG 12 on responsible consumption and production, and SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities.
This makes sense.
But they also go deeper, hitting key points in the Future Fit Business benchmark. Think of it as a gold standard for companies aiming to be truly regenerative, especially in how they manage operational waste, BE14, and use materials and water efficiently, that's BE02.
That's a brilliant move, turning felled campus trees into furniture. That's not just recycling, it really embodies circularity in such a tangible way. Like you said, imagine sitting at a table knowing it literally grew right there on your campus. That's a powerful connection.
It really is.
But okay, let's dig into some of the other specific waste reduction tactics. How did they achieve these numbers beyond just these inspiring tree-to-table transformations?
Well, it's a whole mosaic of strategic initiatives. Take paper reduction, for instance. The university saw a notable 32.1% decrease in total paper consumption just compared to the previous year.
Wow, in 1 year.
Yeah. And a massive 64.9% decrease compared to their 2014 baseline.
Okay, that's huge.
And this wasn't accidental. It was driven by a dedicated paper reduction working group and a big push towards digitalization. That resulted in a 34% overall paper consumption decrease just in the administrative offices alone. Shows how a targeted, systemic approach works, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Focused effort.
Then they took a strong stance on single-use plastics, banning certain items for 19 service providers on campus.
19. Okay, so covering most food outlets and shops.
Pretty much, yeah. And anticipating Hong Kong's upcoming plastic ban, they proactively piloted a zero plastic takeaway container program. They ordered over 130,000 plant fiber biodegradable containers. It's about being ahead of the curve, you know.
Smart. Getting ready.
Their lunchbox lending program, which sounds simple but is really effective, avoided 8,939 single-use lunchboxes just on its own.
Almost 9,000 boxes saved. That adds up.
It really does. And beyond these, they fostered a vibrant secondhand economy right on campus. They organized 2 garage sales involving 200 community members selling and exchanging items.
Like a campus flea market. Cool.
Yeah. And they even successfully diverted over 600 kilograms of unwanted clothing from landfills through a student-led sustainability leadership program.
So students are driving some of this too.
Definitely. Active participation.
That's a truly impressive range of initiatives, from digitalizing paper to banning plastics and even hosting campus-wide garage sales. They're clearly tackling waste from multiple angles. But what's really intriguing is that they took a step even further with this municipal solid waste charging scheme. Can you explain that? Especially since the government deferred it.
Absolutely. And this is where their leadership really shines, I think. What's truly impressive is that the university actually proceeded with the Municipal Solid Waste, or MSW, charging scheme for 954 units across offices, labs, and student halls. They promoted what they call the polluter pays principle, even though the official government rollout was deferred. So they went ahead anyway. They did. It means they made offices and even student dorms directly accountable for the waste they produce, essentially putting a price on trash.
Ah, okay. Direct financial incentive.
Exactly. It's a powerful incentive that worked even before it was mandated elsewhere, showing their proactive leadership.
That takes some courage.
It does. And that wood reuse we mentioned, it went beyond just the acacia trees for furniture. Wood from construction sites was transformed into 800 customized souvenirs. Again, turning all potential waste streams into valuable resources.
Wow, that's not just about compliance. It's really about pioneering new ways to manage resources, isn't it? So, okay, while their waste reduction efforts are truly commendable, winning them this Kvikoo Award, it sounds like it's just one part of their much larger commitment. The university's playing the long game, aiming for net zero. Imagine trying to run a massive university campus, like a mini city in itself, and aiming for net zero emissions. What does that even mean in practice? And how does a place like HKUST tackle a challenge that huge?
Yeah, that's a critical question. When we talk about net zero for a university campus, we mean balancing its greenhouse gas emissions, the ones it produces, with removals from the atmosphere.
Okay, balancing it.
Right. And HKUST's goal is ambitious. Achieve net zero emissions by 2045.
2045.
But they have clear interim targets, too. A 40% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions at Scope 1 and 2, so direct emissions, and those from purchased energy by 2028.
So quite soon.
Very soon. And 50% by 2035, all compared to their 2014 baseline, which was about 61,200 tons.
Got it.
And what's remarkable is that as of 2023, they had already achieved a significant 38% reduction.
38% already. Wow, they're well on their way.
Definitely on track. Their strategy involves 5 key areas, including things like pioneering net zero building standards and making substantial investments in renewables.
Okay, so renewables must be a big part of it.
Oh, absolutely. On the energy front, they've installed 2,473 kilowatts of solar panels in over 50 locations. Apparently, that makes it the largest institutional system of its kind in Hong Kong.
The largest. Impressive.
And they keep adding more. An additional 158 kilowatt of solar panels were installed just recently. They're continually expanding their clean energy footprint.
Nice. What about efficiency? Can't just be about generation.
Good point. Their energy efficiency measures are equally impressive. They replaced 5,842 lighting fittings with LEDs, achieving an average 60% reduction in lighting energy consumption.
60% just from lighting?
Yeah. They also modernized 5 lifts, saving approximately 30% energy in those operations. Every bit helps. They're even trialing cutting-edge smart infrastructure like a photovoltaic integrated green roof system, PVIGR.
What's that exactly?
Right. So imagine combining a lush green roof, which helps with insulation and cooling naturally, with solar panels embedded directly into it. Yeah. It's a true 2-for-1 solution for both energy generation and environmental benefits.
Huh. Solar panels in the green roof. Clever.
Very clever. And for transportation, they've installed 4 EV fast chargers and 74 medium chargers, with infrastructure already in place to support 300 parking spaces.
Planning for the future of EVs.
Exactly. And for new construction and renovation, they've published net zero building standards. These mandate that new buildings be designed for net zero carbon, including embodied carbon, that's the emissions from making the materials and construction itself.
Right, the hidden carbon footprint of building.
Exactly. They're targeting 500 kilogCOs per square meter or less for that embodied carbon. And their campus renewal plan systematically upgrades existing buildings with all feasible decarbonization measures. So they're tackling both new and old infrastructure.
That's a really comprehensive energy and emissions plan, covering everything from solar to smart buildings, even transportation and construction materials. But energy isn't the only resource we tend to overlook in large institutions, is it? Water, for instance, can be a massive consumer. How has the university approached conservation on that front?
Yeah, it's another area where they've shown real dedication, not just talk. The University of Science and Technology has also made significant strides in water conservation. They achieved a 10.2% decrease in total water consumption compared to that 2014 baseline.
10% down, okay.
And their current total consumption, around 463,500 cubic meters, is comfortably below their target of 500,000 cubic meters.
So they're meeting their goals.
They are. And again, it wasn't just about telling people to save water. They installed over 100 WELS Grade 1 water-efficient shower heads in student halls.
WELS Grade 1, that's the top efficiency rating.
Exactly, the highest rating. And that alone led to a 23% reduction in water consumption just in those halls.
23% just from shower heads.
Yeah. They even piloted a water-efficient thawing method for their caterers, which reduced potable water use by a remarkable 33.3% per thawing process.
A third less water just for thawing food. That's specific.
They're very specific, shows the detail. And in the community garden, they implemented a drip irrigation system, improving water application efficiency by 15–30%. Every drop counts.
It's impressive how they're optimizing resource use in such specific, practical ways. Shower heads, thawing methods, irrigation.
Right.
So beyond the utilities, what about the natural environment on campus itself? How are they managing their landscape and biodiversity?
That's another fantastic example of, well, ecological circularity in action. They've completely eliminated chemical fertilizers.
Yeah.
Completely. Instead, they're using 500 kilograms of organic fertilizer annually. And this includes an innovative black soldier fly fertilizer for enriched soil.
Black soldier fly fertilizer. Okay, that's new to me. Sustainable and regenerative, you'd say.
Definitely regenerative. And they also wisely reused 815 kilograms of on-campus shredded leaves and a huge 5,400 kilograms of upcycled wood chips for mulching.
Ah, using their own green waste.
Exactly. Which dramatically improves soil health and retains moisture. So it reduces the need for irrigation, too. It all connects.
Closing the loop.
Precisely. Their conservation efforts also extend to rescuing 128 saplings of 17 native species from construction sites. They replanted them with the help of around 70 volunteers. So it's a real community effort.
Nice, getting people involved, hands-on.
Yeah. And they did a roadside tree survey of 2,357 trees, estimating they collectively store 577.2 tons of carbon. That highlights the vital role of their natural assets right there.
Quantifying the value of their trees.
And through their woodland thinning and ecological enhancement program, they planted 252 native tree seedlings and recycled 10 cubic meters of waste wood. Again, closing the loop on campus resources.
Okay, so we've covered waste, energy, water, biodiversity, a huge operational effort. But what does this all mean for the students, the staff, the wider community? It's clear their sustainability efforts go beyond just the physical campus. It sounds like it's about cultivating mindsets, ensuring well-being, and a commitment to global leadership that extends far beyond the university gates. How are they integrating sustainability into their educational mission and their social impact?
You're absolutely right. It's not just about the infrastructure. The university's commitment is deeply integrated into its educational and social fabric. In education, for example, their Sustainable Design Thinking Certificate program brought together 22 students to design prototypes tackling campus sustainability challenges.
Real-world problem solving.
Exactly. We're talking genuinely innovative projects like Polar Umbrella, which was a concept for a net zero umbrella, and SS Coin, a recyclable scanning system.
Tool ideas.
And get this, a remarkable 94% of HKUST graduates enrolled in at least one sustainability course. 94%.
Wow, almost everyone.
Almost everyone. And 66% completed 2 or more. This isn't just some niche offering. It demonstrates a widespread integration of sustainability concepts into their core curriculum. They're creating future leaders who inherently understand these principles.
Embedding it from the start.
Their Sustainable Smart Campus as a Living Lab initiative has been incredibly fruitful, too. It funded 6 new projects with $4 million in support just this year and has even incubated several startups.
So generating real innovation.
Real innovation. Some of these projects even earned gold medals at the prestigious 49th Geneva International Exhibition of Inventions in 2024. Things like an eco-brick and an advanced photovoltaic smart window. This truly highlights how they're turning their campus into a real-world testing ground for sustainable solutions.
A living lab, literally.
Exactly. And on a global scale, the university hosted or participated in significant events like the Climate Adaptation and Resilience Conference, LFKNS 4. Also the International Leadership Forum, which convened 50 leading figures from 22 universities, and the One Earth Summit 2024, engaging over 1,000 influential leaders. So they're not just teaching sustainability, they're actively leading global discussions on it.
That's quite a reach for education and research, truly shaping the next generation of thinkers and leaders. But how does all this translate to the immediate impact on the community and the well-being of those actually on campus? It's one thing to have grand goals, another to implement them on a human level, right?
Right, and it's all connected. The university clearly understands that social well-being is an integral part of sustainability. You can't really have one without the other. They prioritize inclusivity through various initiatives aimed at supporting everyone on campus. They offer services like a well cab for mobility, provide halal and vegetarian dining options, have mother stations, and even a vending machine for accessible female sanitary products. Small details, maybe, but they make a big difference to daily life.
Thoughtful inclusions.
Yeah. And mental health is a significant focus. Their peer support community expanded to over 220 student volunteers, benefiting approximately 1,650 students.
Peer support, that's powerful.
Very. They also conducted 133 psychoeducation workshops and wellness activities, reaching over 12,000 students and staff. And exhibitions like one called House of Failure attracted over 5,000 visitors just to promote open dialogue about mental health, reducing stigma.
Tackling stigma head-on. Important work.
Crucial. For community outreach, they launched Global Service Day 2024, uniting over 300 students, alumni, and staff volunteers in 42 initiatives with 34 community partners.
Giving back to the wider community.
Exactly. Students also embarked on service learning trips to China and Nepal, providing educational programs to 200 local primary school children.
Wow. Extending their impact globally.
They're finally looking at their governance, how they run things. Their Strategic Plan 2031 clearly prioritizes becoming an exemplar of best-in-class sustainable and quality practices. Their 2023-24 ESG report was prepared according to leading frameworks like Future Fit, UN SDGs, and GRI standards, emphasizing transparency.
Accountability matters.
Absolutely. And notably, HKUST is the first university in Hong Kong to pledge to eliminate investments in fossil fuels.
First one. That's a big statement.
Huge statement.
Yeah.
They plan to allocate around 5% of investments to companies offering climate solutions, aiming for 100% of in-scope assets to be invested in science-based targets companies by 2030.
Okay, science-based targets. What does that mean quickly?
Right. It means those companies have committed to specific, measurable emissions reduction goals that are aligned with what the latest climate science says is needed to meet the Paris Agreement goals. So, serious commitments.
Got it. Investing in line with climate science.
Exactly. And their ethical operations commitment also means all employees and contractors receive at least a living wage, one that exceeds the statutory minimum wage. Plus, they maintain a strict no-retaliation whistleblowing policy. It's really about building a truly just and sustainable ecosystem, top to bottom.
Okay. As we wrap up this deep dive, it's incredibly clear that the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, HKUST, isn't just striving for sustainability. They're actively demonstrating what it means to be a true circularity champion, from those tangible waste reduction numbers and the innovative wood repurposing, all the way to ambitious net zero targets and these comprehensive social well-being programs.
Yeah.
They truly embody that living lab approach we talked about. It's genuinely inspiring to see.
It really is. And I think this raises an important question for all of us listening, If a large, growing university campus can embed circularity and comprehensive sustainability into its operations, its research, its education, what can you, in your own sphere, learn from this approach? How might you look at your waste as a potential resource or integrate circular thinking into your daily life or your work? How can we all make sustainability more visible, tangible, and personal like HKUST is doing?
That's a great question to leave people with, a real challenge. Thank you very much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did.